Hey there, I'm Mark, and I love Maryland Heights. And one of the reasons why I love Maryland Heights is a really incredible organization that's kind of mysterious. DaySpring School of the Arts. And I got a conversation with somebody that I am delighted to introduce to you and share with you today. DaySpring's very own Kaetlin Davis.
Hi, I'm happy to be on the podcast today. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Kaetlin. And you were telling me earlier that you've got a really neat event coming up.
Yes.
It is a community carnival. This is August 22, which is a Saturday,
yes.
right in the middle of the day, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this is going to be the most amazing thing. And then I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to tell everybody about this and
yes.
also what DaySpring is.
Yes. So we're very excited for our community carnival coming up in a few Saturdays. This is the third year we've done it as a community carnival. It was previously our open house, and we just love to get to partner with more organizations in the community, invite more people out for a fun day of food trucks, face painting, carnival games, circus performances from our students that we have, and we're even going to have a balloon artist and just lots of really fun stuff that we'll get to do. And it's a great day to bring out the family.
And by the time you're hearing this, because we're recording this a little bit ahead of time, you're hearing this is going to be this Saturday.
Yes.
So it's just a few days away. So whatever you're planning this Saturday, this is the cool place to be.
Yeah, you got to cancel your plans, scratch everything, and just come down to DaySpring.
So if you're going to go to Grandma's house, say, Grandma, nope, you come here and come to this community carnival.
Yep, you can bring Grandma, you can bring aunts and uncles. It's great for all ages. We'll have something fun for everyone.
All right, so this is brought to us by DaySpring Arts and Education, DaySpring School of the Arts. And for some people who are part of DaySpring, they really know what it is and they love it. But for a lot of people in Maryland Heights, they may not have any idea what a DaySpring is. So Kaetlin, what is DaySpring?
Yes, so you're exactly right. Some of our families see a part of DaySpring, but they don't see the whole thing because we have kind of two main divisions. We have our DaySpring Academy, which is a private Christian school that is a hybrid model. And then we have our School of the Arts, which we have a full evening program with that. It's open to the public. And then we also have a Friday enrichment program that's targeted towards homeschoolers. And then really it's open to anyone who has Friday availability. So if you go to a different hybrid school, we see those students there. Students that attend our academy come to that Friday enrichment class. That is just a full day of arts classes that we offer in the daytime. And all of our arts programming is open to the public. So it starts at age 3 and goes all the way through. We even have a few adult classes. It's open to everyone. And with our academy, it is a hybrid model. So that means that students are in the classroom 2 or 3 days a week, and then they are working either with a parent at home for our younger elementary grades or independently as they get up into middle school and high school.
So let's say somebody wants to homeschool, but they really don't like math. What does DaySpring do for them?
Yeah, so we can actually offer a la carte classes to homeschoolers as well as they get into that middle school, high school age range. But if you are not looking to find your own curriculum or you need some flexibility with days that you're teaching your kids, that's a great option. The Academy is a great option for you. You know, we provide all of the week's lesson plans. So if you want to have your student come to school 2 days a week and then you teach them the other 2 days and then maybe do a field trip on the 5th day, DaySpring is a great option for you.
And as an a la carte program, that would be like, I'm an engineer and I'm really good at theology, but I don't know how to play the violin. And my kid's like, teach me how to play the violin. Would that be a part of the School of the Arts classes, or would that be part of the homeschool during the day?
Yeah, that would be a part of our School of the Arts. And so we offer private lessons pretty much every day of the week, depending on the teacher's availability. And so you could come in, and if you really want to learn piano or voice or violin, we could set you up with a private lesson. And then on our homeschool enrichment day, we do have some group classes with various instruments too.
So I was not homeschooled, and there's no homeschool in my family. So but I do have a teaching degree in math. So I know teaching education and curriculum and pedagogy. It's rusty because I went in a different direction with my life. But if somebody wanted to homeschool their kid because they're frustrated with their school district or a school experience, or their child they just feel would thrive better if they had more one-on-one time with mom and dad, is DaySpring really a turnkey option? Can they literally just say, hi, I want to homeschool my kid, but I have no idea what I'm doing? And would they be able to just come in, plug in, get the curriculum, and be an active part of their education?
Yeah, it would be like a full enrollment process with our academy. But something that we have with our daytime enrichment program is we have a great community with that. So you'd be able to connect with some other parents who could be seasoned homeschoolers and have homeschooled 7 children already, or they might be just starting out too. So it's a really great way to get connected with the homeschool community and be able to talk through some of those problems. And if you do find that you would just prefer to have the flexibility of more of a hybrid model, then DaySpring is a great source for you.
I had not thought of it. I know that the stereotype of homeschool kids are they're very, very smart, but socially they aren't as developed because they weren't kind of tossed into the bin with 50 other kids at lunch or something. But with the DaySpring model, they would get lots of socialization opportunities, be in other classrooms, have those experiences where they're on their own, but then they can kind of debrief with mom and dad. They're going to be with other kids on that same sort of experience. They're just kind of eager to interact and connect.
Yes, so they can already connect with the other kids in their class because they have that commonality of being homeschooled. But we see a lot of parents that are coming in that they do just want a social atmosphere for their child, and we're able to offer that. And, the classes in the arts that we have are continuing to build some of those soft skills as well. If they're taking performing arts, they're learning different ways to perform on stage that's going to transfer into interacting with people, or as they get a job, it could help work in a retail space or something like that. It's building soft skills that they wouldn't get at home alone, maybe.
Now, you said that it's a Christian school. If someone's not a Christian, are they still welcome at DaySpring?
Absolutely. Yes. Especially in our School of the Arts, we have some Christian values that we were founded on, but we don't teach theology or different Bible topics like that in the School of the Arts. It really is strictly an arts curriculum that they follow there. So if you're coming in for fine arts, you're learning the painting techniques, drawing, clay, all of that. We don't have a theology course combined with our arts curriculum that we have.
So if they're going to do pottery, you're not going to say, hey, this reminds me of Genesis 2 when God crafted Adam out of the dirt. Or you're not going to say, get your program in, or God's going to sweep you away like those people in Noah's day.
Right, correct.
So it's just part of the energy, part of the vibe, part of the compassion and kindness and mercy.
Right. Part of our mission statement is to really be welcoming to all and show God's love to all. And so that is really what we're founded on. And part of the reason why we do different community events and connect with the community so much is because we want to spread God's love through our teaching and through our performances and everything that we do with the community.
Another major perk that people don't often think of when they think of Christian schools is your teachers are going to be praying for your kids. And other parents in that community are going to be praying for your kids because it's part of the glue that holds it together.
Absolutely. We, especially on our academy, they do a little bit more focus on incorporating Bible verses and Christian teachings within that curriculum. And they even have some Christian-based curriculum within the academy side. But they actually get to do a special retreat at the beginning of the year where students are able to connect, and they have different devotionals that they'll do with that, and they continue that. And they even bring in different pastors to lead community time throughout the week as well. And so those students are hearing different messages and different sermons from community leaders as well.
Okay, so that's a lot of the academy, but you said it's not the only part. It's just one of the parts. You also said that there's a School of the Arts. What's all that about?
Yes, so 4 departments in our School of the Arts, and that is what I manage. So I am the Arts Division Director. So part of my team, we have our Fine Arts Department, and that's where they're going to do painting, drawing, mixed media, clay, all of our visual arts. And then we have Performing Arts, which includes acting, musical theater, tech theater. We have a really awesome tech theater program that supports the productions that we do. And that's where also our partnership with Kinetic Tapestry comes in for our circus classes. So we have circus classes that we offer on our Friday enrichment program, and those are through Kinetic Tapestry with Jaime Zayas, who I know was on the podcast before, and they do a really amazing job teaching different circus skills too. And then we have a full dance program as well with classical ballet, tap, jazz, modern. We're offering some hip hop classes coming up this year too. So a full dance program. And our last division is music, and that is where we have private lessons for any age. We have a lot of adults that come in and take private lessons. And we also have group music classes that take place mostly on our our Friday enrichment, but we're offering a youth strings ensemble this year coming up throughout the week as well.
If I want to come over there, I can learn ballet, hip hop, tap, and the trapeze.
Yes, you can do it all at DaySpring. That's like one of our mottos is if you have a lot of different arts that you want to study, you can come and take it all in one place. And so it works out a lot for families that have siblings who maybe one student wants to study musical theater, one student wants to do ballet, and then we have another student that wants to take violin lessons. That parent can come to one location and do all of the classes. You don't have to run between 3 or 4 different places.
And mom can also learn how to play the cello, or she can go across the street a little bit to higher grounds.
Yes.
And get a nice smoothie or
She
coffee
can take a
or
little
protein
break.
shake or
Exactly.
white chocolate chip banana loaf bread
Ooh.
just to get a mental break. Or, she could say, I am finally going to learn to play the cello. And I think it's important for somebody who, if you're looking at fine arts, oftentimes as humans, I think they'll say, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. But then because it's not going to meaningfully contribute to their life as make them money or now they're a musician, there's just a value in doing something that you're not going to make money out of. It's just a fun thing you do that sometimes you just kind of pull it out at a party. Like there's a guitar over there and you're hanging out and you're like, can I play the guitar? And someone's like, do you know any songs? And then you start playing bum, 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 bum. And everyone's like, I know that song. And they start singing along. And even if you're not going to make money, it's just fun. Plus the neuron tickling, the synapse development of just doing something you don't normally do.
There are so many studies on how the arts impact the brain, especially on kids, but that definitely translates to adults as well. It's really interesting how music specifically can help with like math and how you learn numbers and equations and things like that. So it's really amazing to just see how the arts can complement you as a whole person.
They have found that people who have less cognitive decline as they get older are people who are always learning. And this is one of these things where it's not just, it'll increase your life expectancy by 3%. Yeah. It's massive. It's decades. If you just decide, I'm going to learn a language, I'm going to learn a guitar, I'm going to start doing something new.
Continuing to use those continuing brain development. Yeah.
But sometimes as we become adults, we just get into a rut. This is what I do. I wish I did that, but you can't. I've got a friend of mine who's in her mid-30s and she's learning to juggle. Like that's not going to be a career. She's in real estate. But kudos to her for figuring this thing out. Have you ever tried to juggle?
I have not in many years. Maybe as a kid I tried to juggle, but I was never... So my background is in dance and you'd think I'd be coordinated enough to do that, but something about the hand-eye coordination wasn't there for me.
I've got great eye-hand coordination, but when I try to do this, my right hand would toss it over, easy peasy. My left hand would toss it to my right, in front of my right hand, approximately 2 inches. So as long as I kept walking forward with my right hand a little bit in the lead, no problem, I could do it.
A moving juggler.
Right, but no one wants to see that. Like he's walking around my living room. Just stand still, it's going to be cooler, and then you mess up. But if you just are excited about just trying new things, you are never too old to learn things. In fact, the older you get, the more you need to learn things because otherwise you just end up in a rut.
Yeah, and I'll loop this back into Community Carnival because it will be a great time to sample some of those different things. So
you'll be able to sample things at the carnival, not just watch the stuff?
Yes. So we'll have sample classes for kiddos. Jaime will be doing some circus sample classes. We'll have different arts activities. So there'll be lots of opportunities for parents and older folks to get involved as well. Musical instrument petting zoo, which is one of my favorite activities. So
you get to pet the instruments?
Yes, exactly. No, we have all the instruments laid out and you can kind of sample them and see the different sounds that they make. And if you ever really wanted to like bang on a djembe or something like that, we'll have it out for you to explore.
Bang on a...
Djembe, like a
djembe?
Yes.
What's a djembe?
So that is an African drum. It kind of looks like an hourglass. And so it has like a leather top that you're able to play. And, if you beat it on the center, it makes a little bit of a different tone than if you use the edge. And so you'll be kind of able to explore instruments and sounds throughout the event.
Have you ever seen a steel drum?
Yeah.
Those are amazing. Those are the ones in the calypso or the reggae. Bum, 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 bum. And it's like, that is amazing. Like you're just beating a piece of metal, but it's perfectly tuned to make those amazing sounds.
I don't understand how that works at all or how it was created. It's just amazing how they've made that beautiful sound from, a piece of metal.
When I was younger, I used to think percussionists have the easiest gig. You just hit it. But there's different ways that you can hit these things, like on the edge of or on the side or with a different part of the stick. Apparently, percussionists are musicians.
Yes. We have a really awesome percussionist actually at DaySpring. She is our music department head and she has her doctorate in conducting and percussion percussion, and it's amazing what she can do. She did a class called Creative Percussion a couple years ago, and they did a lot with Home Depot buckets and making noises on various sized Home Depot buckets and making songs with that. And I think they did like We Will Rock You and some really fun songs with using buckets as their drum of choice.
Did you ever see Stomp?
I did not see them, and I know what you're talking about, but I did not see them like in person ever.
That show, I never saw in person, but that show was always amazing. They're just sweeping brooms on different things, and then, they're banging trash together like a Coke bottle and a Mountain Dew bottle, and they're making just incredible sounds. It's baffling to me how creative artists can be.
Yes. Out of, like you said, home materials or recycled materials, anything like that. It reminds me of a camp we've done the past 2 years in the summer. It's an upcycled sound sculpture camp. And
sound sculpture camp.
Yes.
What's that?
So the kiddos bring in different recycled materials and they're making sound sculptures. So something that they can play and create music with. A couple years ago, they made a giant pizza. So it was like a slice of pizza. So think about that in your head. And then they've added different glass pieces. They've added some different instruments. So bells and things like that. And they did a like marble run on it. So they were able to play some different things off of the metal pieces that were on this big cardboard slice of pizza and do a marble run and get some different sounds out of it. So this large scale sound sculpture that they were able to play.
See, no person is going to think of things like that on their own, day after day after day. Like some people have lots of good ideas. I like to think I'm a creative person, but I'm not going to be as creative as the rest of the educated, focused world combined. And this is why it's so important, especially if you're going to be a homeschool teacher. It's so important to plug into a great community like DaySpring, because you're going to benefit from not just your creativity and your strengths, but you're going to benefit from so many other teachers and so many other people's creative ideas. And they may have had a really cool idea 10 years ago, and they're going to continue to reincarnate that a little bit better. And your kiddos are going to benefit from that. And it's also going to spur creativity in your own lesson development to go, that's neat. I want to build on it in this way. Or, when your kid sees their piece in the basement, they're going to have these really cool reminders. Oh, I remember when we did that with Miss Davis, or, whoever had the great idea. And you're not going to be able to do that on your own. It's like when they have butterflies in the classroom. Most parents at home are not going to think, let's get butterflies. But if you're in a community of creativity, they're going to benefit from that. You're going to get your own great ideas built off that.
So one of our 4 C's that we have as part of our values is collaboration. And it's probably my favorite because families and students are really able to connect and kind of spark ideas off of each other. So not only is it a collaboration between the students in the classroom, but it's a collaboration between DaySpring and the parents. We want this to be something that builds on their schooling or their homeschooling, and collaboration is just key in how we continue to build our community and make something that feels really special to the kids and they feel the ownership behind it as well.
And I have noticed as I grow up, people are generally really good at a set of things. So earlier today, I was working on a project with somebody and I wanted to make sure I was doing everything exactly the way that he wanted. We were painting some wood with primer and then paint. And I wanted to make sure I was doing it exactly the way that I was supposed to. And he said, you haven't done this before? And I go, all right, if you need me to help you consider your worldview or your relationship dynamics or just the impact of habits on your life or interpersonal communication, I'm the guy. But if it's let's rewire a circuit breaker, that is not my skill set. And so I lean on people like you, tell me to figure out how to do this. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. I understand. And for me, it was a really precious moment to be able to say, hey, I'm great at these things, but not these other things. And my kid was around and she goes, Dad, you know how to do like everything. You're really, really smart. And I said, I'm so smart that I know that I'm not smart in certain things. It's just not my thing. And, I'm not the only person like that. People want to do the very best for their kids, but you're not going to be the best at science and communication and math and physics and computers and interpersonal networking and business and investment and art and music.
Everything,
And so I really appreciate the support model that you have. Hey, let us help you be the best for your kid for this collaboration. I like that you appreciate that out of the C's. One see I really like is curiosity.
Yes.
Like, let's just figure out. And because
critical thinking is another one that we really value. And yes, sometimes a project is pretty much, here's a problem. Let's figure out how we can find a solution for this.
I think the world is a lot like a video game, with God being the programmer, the developer. And it's really just you are trying to figure out how everything works and pieces together to the theory of everything. And so whether you're doing it through music or science or applied mathematics, it's just it all connects. It's kind of like The Matrix. Are you old enough to know that movie?
I do know The Matrix. I don't know if I ever watched it. I think it came out when I was a little younger.
But your parents told you about it.
Yes. I've always heard about the lean back, the part of The Matrix where they're like leaning back and
because they cracked
bullets
the
flying
code.
or something.
They cracked the code. All right. So you give private lessons on music. I'm just going to make a list of the instruments. What are the instruments that DaySpring that you can remember that you've seen floating around, walking around DaySpring?
We have most of them is what I'll say. We have teachers that kind of our most popular are piano, voice, and violin, but we have guitar, ukulele, flute, clarinet. We have a trumpet player who can do private lessons. If you want percussion, so you want to do any type of percussion instrument, we have a percussionist, a cello, and other various strings instruments. We can offer that as well.
Now, as the arts division manager, do you know an instrument?
I do not. So my background is in dance, and
I
that's
remember you
where
saying that.
I kind of fit in. So I never learned any instruments, but I really appreciate music as it complements my art form. It is a great way for people to connect.
I would definitely encourage people to make sure their kid has learned at least one instrument in their childhood, because then they'll be able to understand music and notes.
Yeah.
There are so many people here at church that just don't know how to sing. Like some dots are hollow and some dots are solid and some dots don't have a stick and some have a stick and a dot. And they're just like, I don't know what this is, up, down. And it helps people just learn how to just do music. And that's an important part of life. All right. So you said that you have a dance background. What kind of dance have you done? What's your favorite kind?
So my favorite kind is probably jazz dance, but I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in dance from Southeast Missouri State University. And I studied ballet, tap, jazz, modern, all the things there. But jazz is probably my favorite.
What is the big difference between jazz and hip hop and ballet?
Okay. So ballet is kind of your foundation. So think about the platter tutus, the nutcracker, things like that. But from there, that's our strict technique. And then jazz was developed with more freer expression in mind. So you're still doing similar steps, but maybe you're doing them parallel instead of turned out. And then from there, hip hop was kind of developed as more of a social dance and kind of combining social dance with more classical dance styles, and we gained all of these things. Modern dance kind of came out of that too, where people were looking for more freedom in their movement versus stricter ballet technique.
So whenever I hear a preacher on a movie or TV show, I get so frustrated because it's either the most generic sermon, and love is such a lovely thing to have, and to love is a lovely thing to love. And it's just like, oh my goodness. Or it'll be like a pastor on the middle. Brothers and sisters, we are rejoicing today because we are looking at the letter to the Thessalonians from the Apostle Paul. The second one proceedeth from the third chapter. I'm like, oh my goodness. So preachers on TV drive me nuts, except Reverend Tim Tum on the middle. He is awesome. And one of the reasons why I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. But as a dancer, when you're looking at people in your wheelhouse on TV, what do you think about shows like So You Think You Can Dance, that big dance competition where all these people are like, I think they can dance. And then they do something on TV. And sometimes it's fantastic. And sometimes as a amateur, a newbie who doesn't dance, I look at this and I go, I don't get it. They're rolling around on the ground, but ballet is always like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So when you watch those, when you see these contemporary dancers, are you like,
yeah, I think that is a really great way to share dance with the world. And I feel like dance is always kind of an undervalued art form that we have. It's not usually in public school settings. It's not something that is as popular as, playing in band or doing fine arts. And so I love different shows like that get to showcase dance and show the different styles that it can be, because there is such freedom in movement and creativity and expression there. It doesn't have to fit in one little box. I think that's one of the greatest things about dance is it can be very modern and interesting and something that you wouldn't expect, or it can be classical ballet that they're learning steps that have been performed for years and years and years.
Sometimes Christians can listen to Christian music, and if they don't like the genre, they'll say, I hate that song. And
exactly.
It's like, okay, you might not like that song, but that song is the heart song for somebody else.
Right.
So you can appreciate that they're doing Christian music. And I'd rather be a lot more Christian musicians out there than less. So it might not be my favorite type. There's Christian heavy metal. It's hard to hear the lyrics. I can appreciate heavy metal because I love lifting weights and it's a part of that whole culture. But I'm probably not going to listen to it because it's hard to hear the words and I don't know what they're saying. And if I put that on a Pandora playlist, then it's going to put all sorts of other stuff in there that I'm not going to want that being like chanted in my head. But I'm not going to hate on it. I'm going to say, hey, cool. I'm thankful that they're there. So when you see somebody dancing on TV and it is just doesn't even make sense, you're just like, I don't even understand that. Do you go, oh my goodness, that was their representation? Or do you go, I'm glad they're enjoying dance? Which one are you?
I feel like I try to be just glad that they're enjoying dance. You know, there is like a safety element. If they're doing something that's dangerous to their body, there's always some anxiety that comes with that. But I think dance can be for all ages. You can have preschoolers learning dance and you can have elderly nursing home patients that do dance as well. And I think there's a beauty in that movement and breadth of learning that is throughout all ages and the creativity there that they can express themselves through movement.
And there's a part of the adult who says, if dance doesn't pay the bills, then I shouldn't do it. Well, watching TV doesn't pay the bills either. And doom scrolling doesn't pay the bills. But something about being kinesthetically involved, moving, it gets your heart rate up, it teaches you balance. And people who are athletic or active, they're going to have their balance later on in life. So they're not going to be as likely to fall because they're kinesthetically aware. So whatever kind of kinesthetic movement is going to work for you. For me, I love lifting weights. Other people, I also love martial arts. Other people, dancing. Other people, just going for walks, just being active.
Dance as fitness and exercise has become a lot more popular. You see like these bar fitness classes and Zumba classes and just a variety of dance fitness that I think has been great to show the appreciation for dance as an art form and get more people involved in movement.
Which is not just good for your body. It's fantastic for your brain. People imagine that their bodies and brains or bodies and souls. And the two are so very interconnected. I used to think I should start my day off with some God time, some devotions and some reading, and then work out in the afternoon so I can save that. But then I realized physical activity is not just physical, it's physical and mental. There's some activities that are just mental, but there's no activity that is just physical because you have to have your brain telling you what to do. And so it's just a precious thing. And so if you're a person who says, hey, dancing is just, it's a thing, it's fluffy. Doing art, doing an instrument, it's just a fluffy non-thing. It's really not. It actually wakes your brain up in wonderful ways that sitting at your computer at work or sitting on your phone at work or driving your truck for work, it doesn't wake your brain up like just artistic movement and artistic expression.
Yeah, and it uses a different part of your brain, especially if you're in more of an analytical field. The creativity side uses more of the left brain, and so you're able to engage cross-laterally.
Which is the goal. You don't want to just over-cultivate one part of your brain at the expense of the other. And you can be analytical, but give yourself a couple hours a week of an adventure. Not just going somewhere new, but doing something new. So DaySpring does that for adults too. You can take dance classes, instruments.
Yes. So we do have some select adult classes. We have the private lessons available. We have some adult tap dance classes and adult ballet that we've offered. A lot of times we'll see adults that come in and help with, they might volunteer building our sets, or especially parents, we see them coming in to help with our work days and help building sets and painting and things like that. So there's ways to get involved even if you don't want to commit to a full class to still use that creativity.
And you're not necessarily signing a contract to come up for the next 3 years, or you're not necessarily buying 800 violin lessons. If you try the violin a few times and you absolutely hate it, it's not like you now signed a contract and you're stuck.
Right. And we do offer free trial classes. So that's a great way. If you or your child want to try something, but you don't know for sure if they're going to like it, take a trial class. There's no commitment there that's needed. And if it ends up not being the right fit for them, we can hopefully find something else that is.
So if you're part of the Maryland Heights area or you are near the Maryland Heights area, DaySpring School of the Arts is just a phenomenal organization that just is doing life enrichment. And if you need help with certain topics or like tutoring or just homeschool support, man, they are just a great place. And they've been great partners and friends of Zion the whole time that I've been here over over 16 years.
Yeah.
And I know you moved to a new location. You're down which road?
So we're down Metro. So about 10 years ago, we were in the Steinway building on the other end of Metro. And then we have moved, I think it was 2015. We moved down on like the subway side of Metro. And we're down all the way at the end of the cul-de-sac there. And we have a beautiful building with, I think, 11 or 12 classrooms, 3 dance studios, a black box theater, 10 or 11 private lesson studios, a rehearsal hall, lots of great spaces for us to have our classes and performances.
And over time, there have been members of Zion who have worked at DaySpring or tutored at DaySpring. One of our baristas, even for our cafe, was a member of the DaySpring community, Grace, and she's gone on to do really great artistic things.
Yes.
And it's just been neat to see a lot of the DaySpring families come to Higher Grounds, hang out, do their things. Of course, she mentioned Jaime Zayas. He was on our earlier I Love Maryland Heights, and it was just a fantastic conversation. So I got to ask, you've got a professional clown and circus school down the hall. Have you done any of the classes?
I have. I actually, for the past several years, have taken their aerial fitness class, which kind of, how dance fitness has become a thing, the aerial fitness has become a thing. And I studied a little bit of aerial in college, but it was only like a year or two. And it is just a great way to still use that creativity and incorporate some dance skills, but then also the fitness aspect of having to climb and hold my body weight and invert from nothing. It's a really great class.
Now, aerial fitness, is this on a bar? Is this in the ring? Or is this on the silk things that are hanging from the ceiling?
So we actually go through all 3. We learn different skills on all of the apparatus.
When you said all 3, I imagine like you're falling. He's like, okay, go through the circle, go through the trapeze, catch yourself on the silk.
I'm not that advanced. Not that advanced. One at a time currently.
So if somebody wants to try that, they can come to DaySpring and say, I want to see if I can hold myself on a trapeze, or I want to see if I can do the silk.
Yes. So again, part of our enrichment program, we partner with Kinetic Tapestry for circus and aerial classes. So you can do it through there, or we can get you connected with Jaime if another day of the week works better for you.
DaySpring sounds like a playground for the mind and the body.
Yes. We always see people who come in and they don't realize how expansive and how big it is. And so there's so much going on. And we love to have the building full of people. And hopefully that's what Community Carnival will be for us too. It's just a day full of fun and community.
All right. So as a part of the community, you've got a Community Carnival coming up. And this is at the end of this week. So this is August 22 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yes.
And where is it going to be?
So it is at our location, so 2500 Metro Boulevard. We are going to have activities outside in our front lot. We'll have performances inside. There'll be food trucks. There will be different art classes that you can take, workshops, lots of games all throughout the building. You can win prizes, face painting, a balloon artist is coming in. Anything connected to the carnival is pretty much what we have, minus the big rides.
And you have an instrument petting zoo.
Yes.
And in case somebody wasn't listening, or maybe like that's when the kid was crying or a truck cut them off as they're driving, they can come and pet the instruments.
Yes. So you can explore a variety of instruments that we have. So if you ever wanted to test out a xylophone or play a few keys on the piano, we will have a variety of instruments that you can explore.
Including flutes.
I don't know if we have a flute, actually. We do have a couple violins, so we could definitely do that. Ukulele is another one that people like to check out. I think we have some rain sticks. Those are also some fun sounds that people can make. And drums, lots of drums.
I ask about flutes because you're breathing your breath into that, and that'd be hard to clean in between people.
Yes.
So I don't want people to get like freaked out and weirded out. Like, okay, so I'm going to have the clarinet read in my mouth and then shove that into this clarinet and then practice a couple of notes.
No.
But you're very smart people. You're a school.
Yeah.
And so you're going to do instruments that make sense. You're not going to say, shove this harmonica in your mouth hole.
Right.
But, if somebody's
no single-use instruments.
Yeah. But if somebody's very concerned about how many people have touched this violin, I mean, there's ways to clean it. And no one's going to say, you're at the carnival, you better touch the violin.
No,
they're not going to say, well, you don't hate your kid enough to not let them touch the violin, do you?
We will
It's
have
low pressure.
Germex and disinfectant wipes readily available for the instrument petting zoo.
Because you obviously take care of small kids. And sometimes kids put things up their noses.
Yes.
And you already have the cleanliness practices in place because you are a full-functioning, extraordinary school and understands that kids are kids and kids have germs.
Yes. We try to keep our building very clean. And yes, we have air purifiers in all the rooms to try to mitigate some of that. But, cold and flu season always seems to creep up on us, and we'll have weeks where so many students are missing because of something going around. But I think that's every school, right?
Those air purifiers, honestly, seem so small, but it's an indicator of the staff culture of being concerned about the students that, hey, this is going to make our kids feel safer and be healthier. Let's go ahead and do that. As opposed to, just open the door and crack a window and let the germs cross-ventilate. I mean, that's just a neat thing. And it's just a small thing that shows a larger culture of we care about our kids and we want everybody to feel safe and be well taken care of.
And we see, families with different autoimmune diseases or different, health concerns that they need. And we want to try to serve as many people as well as we can. That little bit of safety, extra safety step is something easy that we can add in that does help some of our families that need it.
On that topic of children who, special considerations and certain conditions that they might have, medical or otherwise, if a child is neurodivergent, sometimes they struggle in large groups in massive campuses, as in like, all right, little kiddo, go and we'll see you in 8 or 9 hours at the end of the school day. How do kiddos who are neurodivergent, who have special needs and special concerns, how do they do in a homeschool support environment, in the academy, in the school of the arts?
We see a lot of neurodivergent students, and whether that's OCD or autism, anything in between, what we love to do is another way which we collaborate with the parent for that. We love to have a meeting and see the best ways to serve your student and then communicate that back to the teacher. We also typically have smaller class sizes that are able to give more individualized attention and kind of explain things in a different way if a student needs that. Another thing that we have in our building is the calming corner, is what we call it. And that is a space where students can go. They're still monitored by our front desk, but they can go, and if they feel overwhelmed in class or they have a little bit of anxiety, whatever that might be, they can go and take a few moments to calm themselves down. We have some breathing techniques on the wall that they can follow. We have some coloring sheets, some books they can read. They can take a few moments to themselves where it's going to be a little bit quieter than their classroom. And hopefully that few moments that they're able to calm themselves down, then they're able to go back to class and reintegrate there.
Before I got here to Zion, we had a cry room where if your kid's exploding, take them to the cry room and then they can cry it out and they can come back. And I thought that is the worst name for something like that because it's really just a reset. So we call it the calming room.
Oh, yeah.
So you can just go, your kiddos can explode, you can, sit in a rocking chair, let them play some toys, because the idea is not to separate them. The idea is to help them get calm and you don't miss anything. So you come on in. So I like that you got this calming corner, this calming space. That's just sort of like, hey, everybody needs a reset sometimes. I imagine if I were a teacher of small kids, I might go to the calming corner sometimes.
Yes, sometimes I find myself there. No, for sure. When we have a big tap class or we have a big musical theater class where you're singing and dancing and moving, sometimes that can be a little bit overstimulating. And so if you need just some time to step out and kind of reorient yourself, or maybe you woke up late and you didn't get the breakfast that you needed, and so you just need to take some time to yourself there, we have it available for all of our students.
I love the culture of DaySpring. It's very positive. It's very promoting of positivity and kindness and compassion. And it's definitely a part of it being a Christian school, but it's a part of the every feature, every vibe. I remember as soon as I came here to Zion, Nancy, the owner, within weeks, she came over and she said, hey, I heard there's a new pastor here. I want to introduce myself. And I was hoping to talk with you about, can your lower level be a storm shelter for us if something severe happens and we have enough time to just come next door, which we are, just come next door and shelter in your location. And I thought that is surprising that an owner would be on the lookout for, are my kids going to be safe if there's a disaster? And introduce yourself, cold call a new pastor into the area. And I've been very impressed the entire time. And I'm sad that you're not as close to Zion anymore, but I'm very thankful for this new location because it really is bigger. It allows you to customize your spaces and you're just continuing to thrive in wonderful ways.
Yes, I think Nancy Schaff, our founder, really did set up a great foundation for us and a great mission that continues to feed throughout the staff, even though she has since retired. She stops by on occasion and it's so great to see her and the growth that we've seen from just her mission. I think DaySpring began, this is many years ago, before my time at DaySpring, but we began across the street in a church basement. I think it was like New Covenant Church was where they started. And then since then, when we grew, we went to the Steinway building, and now we're in our lovely new space that we have. I think her values of being welcoming to all and to really connect with the community and the impact that the students can have in their community after they move on from DaySpring. So the soft skills that they're learning in their classes, through the academy, all the skills that they're learning, we know that they can take those and impact their communities afterwards. And that's really what we love to see. Like Grace, who you were talking about earlier, she learned so many great things at DaySpring, and now she's growing in college, and then she's coming back to teach with us as well. So it's like a full circle moment that we see with a lot of our students of just continued impact in their own community.
It's got to be neat seeing these kiddos who want to express themselves and want to be a part of something unique and special, that you get to be a part of fanning that into full flame, like Grace, who's making a career out of it. It's just an amazing thing to light up a kid. Just a wonderful way of helping them find their passion and connect it to skills to be great at it.
I have seen so many students that have come in maybe shy and reserved, and they take their first musical theater class and they're hooked by the end of the year, and they're stepping on stage and singing their hearts out. And it's so amazing to see the growth in kids throughout the years.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you're part of just these forever changes, Kaetlin. So if you like Kaetlin, and if you adore her as much as we have grown to adore her as we've been chatting with her, there are a ton more people exactly like her. But there are a ton of people who are just as delightful and joyful and kiddo-centric as Kaetlin over at DaySpring. You can go check it out. This could be for your kids, for your grandkids. I know now sometimes parents are really challenged to afford some of the nicer things or bigger opportunities for kiddos. And it's easy if it's just sort of like, oh, well, my taxes pay for this. But it's an impressive thing when a kiddo has like their special thing, like they get to go to this special evening event or the special weekend thing to learn how to play the guitar or learn how to play the violin or learn how to play guitar in a Jimi Hendrix way or, in a very unique way. And this is a really cool opportunity, whether you're going to take advantage of the entire homeschool support program, the entire Christian School Academy, or if you want to just kind of a la carte and take these classes or just meet the professional clown maker and circus performer. But you can go take a tour. And I know for parents, it's hard to afford those sorts of things. And DaySpring is by no means pilferingly expensive. They try to keep everything very affordable. This could be a great thing for grandparents to give their grandkiddo a really cool adventure of just a life enrichment. And you could just say, hey, for the summer, let's take some jazz classes. Or, for winter, you're not going to be in tennis or whatever the season is for that or baseball. So maybe for the fall, you're going to try this new fun activity. Maybe this is your new love. Maybe this is your new joy. And so that would be DaySpring. We'll have your website in our show notes. I know you're going to have the carnival this Saturday, August 22, and it's going to be right there at your location. We'll have that address, 2500 Metro Boulevard, in our show notes as well. So if you're listening to this, just look down at the show notes and you can just find it. And if your phone's super smart, you can just click on it and it'll take you right there.
Yeah. And the morning of the carnival, a lot of times we'll partner with some barnstormers from Kinetic Tapestry and stilt walkers, and we'll have people down at the corners. So even if you're driving past Zion, you'll see some people directing you to DaySpring down at the corner, most likely.
So if you see a very tall person, about 12, 15 feet tall.
Maybe even juggling,
Wow. If you see somebody juggling 15-foot tall people, turn in right there, because that's going to get you to the happy town of DaySpring's Arts and Education with Kinetic Tapestry, the community carnival. And it's free to go. You're going to have to buy food if you go to the food truck, but you'll have face painting, you'll have games.
Free games, free classes, free performances. All of that is free, but the food trucks do have a minimal fee.
And because you're buying food and you're eating that food. Like it's your food. Like, hey, congratulations. These tacos are your tacos. That's not a community taco thing, like you to taste the taco and put it back on the table, like the violins, right? Right. We don't have the community flute. No. There's no petting zoo for the food.
Tacos, no.
Touch an actual taco. Touch an actual.
We haven't started our culinary arts program yet, okay?
Is there conversation about that?
There's always jokes about culinary arts, but we don't have the facility, unfortunately, for that yet.
Not
yet.
Well, Kaetlin, it has been delightful to have you here. Thank you. And I hope people come and see you this Saturday for the Community Carnival. And thank you for being a part of DaySpring. And thank you and all of DaySpring for being yet another reason why I love Maryland Heights.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kaetlin, sometimes dance takes a strange turn.
Mhm.
What is the best song that you can imagine that always gets you dancing, that takes you back?
My drop-down favorite song is probably Fergalicious. I was able to do like just a short little dance to it for a student government talent show in college, but I haven't got a full performance of Fergalicious, so it's still on my bucket list.
DaySpring, it's time to finally have Kaetlin be Fergalicious.
You might get a sneak peek of that at the carnival. We'll see.